Hello lovely viewers. Today we are going to look at a software which we normally use to create a database, and the software that we are going to look at is XAMPP. So we have the XAMPP server. So we, let's launch our XAMPP server. After successful installation, you launch your XAMPP server. So we type XAMPP to search for it. So this is the XAMPP. You have these icons here, the model of service. These services has not yet been installed. Okay, so you have to install these services. When they are installed, it automatically launch the server whenever you start your computer. Okay, so whenever you boot your computer, it automatically start the server if these services are installed. So we are going to click on these two icons here, the Apache server and the MySQL server, so that whenever the computer is started, it also starts the server automatically. So here you click on this one and click on yes to install it. So you can see from this side that it is what? Installing the Apache service. So now it has been installed successfully. And see that the icon has changed. And the next thing that we're going to do is to also install the MySQL service. So you click on that one too to also install it. You click on yes. And that one too is also installing, okay? Installing service, okay? And it has also been installed successfully. So if these are installed, it means that whenever you start the computer, it will start the server automatically. So here manually, we have to start the two services. So we click on start, then you click on start for both of them. So attempting to start Apache service and also attempting to start with MySQL service. So you know that MySQL service has already been started. Both of them has now started, and it is working on port 8443, right? So this is how you start the XAMPP server. Okay, so now let's look at the actual interface of the XAMPP server. So with this, we'll click on the MySQL service, which is this one, the admin, so that you send us to the administrator panel through our browser. So now this is our administrator panel, and now we want to create a new database. So when you get into the administrator panel, at the left hand side here, you have new. So all these are databases that I have created already. Okay, so at this side, we have new, okay, which you are going to use to create your database. Okay, so you click on new. So here we have create database. So here you type the name of your database. Okay, so maybe we are creating a database for a church. So just type church as the database name. Then we click on create. So now database church has been created. Okay, so you see that we have it here, church, as our new database. And when the database is created, you need tables, and the tables are going to contain your records. So for every database should have tables that contains records that has been saved. Okay, so now our database has no table in it that will contain our records. So no tables found in database. So here you will create a table. Okay, so you name the table maybe for a church database. You may say that table records to contain records of church members. And every table has rows and columns. So the number of columns should be in line of the number of records that you are going to save. So if you are taking 4 columns, it means that you are going to save 4 columns of records. So the number of records determines the number of columns that you are going to take. So for now, let's take about 6 columns for now for our table row in our database church. So we have 6 columns, then we click on go. So now we have our table records, okay, with our columns. Okay, so these are our columns. Okay, we have column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4, column 5, and column 6. So these are our columns. So our first column is going to contain an ID of each church member. The second column will have name of church member. So you enter the records that you are going to take from each member, and The next one will be contact. Then we talk about address, then work, and the last one will be hometown. So these are the names of the columns that we are going to have in our database, or the kind of records that we are going to take from each church member. So now that we are done with the column names, we then move on to the type of values that we are going to save under each column. So for ID, we are going in for integer value. For name, we are going in for variable character. For contact, we are going in for integer. Address, we are going in for long text. For work, we are going in for variable character, and hometown to variable character. Then we set in the length of values of records that we are going to save under each column. So for ID, we take 11, and the rest we will take 225 for each of them. So 225 length of value that is going to be saved under each of the columns. So here for the ID, we are going to make it auto increment, and we will set our primary ID also. So we will select our primary ID for the primary ID is set for the first column, which is ID, and we will make it auto increment. Okay, so after setting all these, then you scroll down and click on save to successfully create your database. So now our database church and with a table records has been created successfully. Okay, so you just click on table records to view the columns of data that you will actually save in the database. So don't forget to share, like, and ask questions on this tutorial. Our table records has been saved successfully. So this is our table records. So you can click on it to view the number of columns that has been saved in that table. So these are the columns of data that we have saved. We have ID, name, contact, address, work, and hometown. Okay, so now let's quickly insert one data into our database by using this insert button here. So we click on insert. The ID has been set to auto increment, so we are not going to enter any data there. So for name, we will enter Emmanuel, and with the address, let's first enter contact. So contact, and with the address, since we set the address as long text, that is why it is having this big input. Okay, so EH-0010-5961, and work, Emmanuel is a trader, and hometown is Obuakwa. And we click on go to insert this new records. So now one row inserted. So we have been able to insert a new record in our table. Okay, so now let's click on browse to view our records. So now this is how the records looks like. So name column has Emmanuel, contact, address, work, and hometown. Okay, so the next tutorial we will look at how to create forms and link the forms to the database using this submit button. So like and share and follow us for the next tutorial. Thank you for watching.